Why are we here? As in we, the center, the EPSRC Center for Innovative Manufacturing in Industrial Sustainability. Don't you love it? The UK government, in its wisdom, or the one arm of the UK government, which is the Research Council that funds engineering and physical sciences research, hence EPSRC, felt that it was very important to create centers of excellence to support manufacturing research, and we are lucky enough to be one of those centers of excellence. And we are 4 universities, so there are people in the room from Imperial College, London, Loughborough University, Cranfield University, and this place. We've been going for some 2 years now, and I will be explaining some of our progress and some of our future plans in a second. Why were we set up? Well, each of these centers of excellence has their own set of challenges. Ours, of course, everyone argues that theirs is more important than the others. Well, ours is really the most important. Because if we don't get ours right, the others don't get to make stuff, right? And if we project forward and look at the number of people who are becoming middle-class, wealthy consumers and factory productivity, we are going to be outputting 4 times more in 2050 than today in terms of value. That's a lot of stuff. And we already know that we're overburdening the planet at the current rate. That would be burning the planet. That would be quite astonishing. Now, there are going to be some effects in general productivity improvement, which means we're not going to quadruple our impact if we sit back and just take it easy. But neither are we going to become sustainable. And we have some view of what we have to do to get there. We understand that we have to reduce our emissions of greenhouse gases by about 80%. We have to halve our resource use, depending on the resource. Some more, some less. Those are quite ambitious challenges. We enjoy ambitious challenges and important problems, and that's what we take on as our challenge in this center. We call it industrial sustainability. I think it's very important to understand that our research, we sometimes forget to say this. When you look at the posters, when you look at the work that we do, it is all grounded in practice. We work with real factories because that's how you get a deep understanding, and that's how you build solutions that might have a chance of working. So we work with practitioners, other researchers from around the world, and policymakers to hopefully encourage the transformation to an industrial system that one day will meet a test of sustainability. You'd expect us to deliver knowledge, which we turn into tools and methods that companies can use. We think it's incredibly important to build leaders of the future. Our target is to begin 88 PhDs by 2016. It is a big number, but it isn't big enough. There are more problems than there are people, and we need more people in this subject area with a deep understanding of the subject. We obviously seek to support and influence the policy-making process, and one of the ways in which we do that, for example, is by drawing pictures of what success might look like. Not that we're going to get that right, but the act of drawing pictures together is a useful thing to be doing. Where are we in that plan? I would encourage you to go upstairs to the back wall, have a look at the quick guides table. That's a particular type of tool, small blocks of information that are easily digestible by companies. And that's something that we've started to build, and we expect to produce a lot more very soon, and they're turning out to be very useful in real-life factories. Greg, where are you? Nick. So Greg and Nick up there. Greg in particular has led the writing of the next Manufacturing Revolution report. Along with Simon, we've communicated this report in particular to policymakers and to the 2 Degrees community that Simon is here representing. Some really fascinating information about how, and it takes a very narrow view, how much money are we wasting by being stupid in these particular ways? And the numbers are enormous. And it's a very narrow view, and we hope that that narrow view sticks like Velcro to people who have that view of the world. That's why we've written it that way. I would encourage you to take it up and read it. You can get it from the Next Manufacturing Revolution website. Those of you who've walked around will have spotted there's a lot of projects and PhDs happening. I'm not going to list them because the list is just getting too interesting and too long. You have to find that out for yourselves. Please go and dig. That's the heart of what we do, though, so I don't want to diminish it. It's the main job that we do, those research projects. James Elliott, where are you? Put your hands up. Some fool decided to promote them, and we decided not to object. Is that right? No, it's really fantastic. Loughborough have invested in proper academic positions because we need more people like you, because personally, I still think I'm teaching people how to run 1980s factories. But our 2020 students are going to be very good at running 1980s factories unless we get people like James and Elliot teaching them. And then we might be in the 1990s. But it's a step forward, at least. There's about 57 people now working across the centre. We're very happy to have a series of collaborations with people like the Sustainable Apparel Coalition, who are joining as members, and we're joining their coalition. We're working, we don't have that much expertise here in this room on the process industries and the chemical industries, so we've established a relationship with the Centre for Process Innovation, who do know that stuff, and created a Centre for Resource Efficient Manufacturing Systems. We seem to have a skill for great names, don't we? And the obvious things. We do try and tell the world what we're doing, the academic world and the practitioner world. What are our plans for the future? Well, I think it's rather ambitious, and I'm looking forward to celebrating the 100th quick guide. So we'll have a party, and whoever writes that one can have an extra biscuit. We've been working with the UK government on the Future of Manufacturing project under Foresight, with UNIDO and the ASEAN countries, Malaysia, Thailand, Philippines, Indonesia and Vietnam, on their future green growth manufacturing policy, and with the Mongolian government on their green growth manufacturing policy. So hopefully we're having an impact. As with all policy, you cannot tell, actually. You cannot tell whether they were going to do that, whether or not you were involved. Very difficult to attribute cause and effect. But we'll keep going because we think it's important. I think it's incredibly important in the next 2 years that we sustain the team and sustain the delivery of the grand challenges that those team members are working on. We've managed to put in place a really fantastic group of people, but we have to keep going, and we have to keep giving them challenges and jobs and resources to be able to grow themselves. We would like to strengthen our connections into those countries in the world that are building the most factories most quickly, because we think that we have some quite good knowledge, and we would like to help those people who are building the most factories most quickly. That would be China, India and Brazil. and we'd like to keep telling people about the things that we're learning. I'm now going to go a little bit into content. I do think that there are 4 dimensions of what we're doing that are incredibly important, and it seems to me whatever problem we're working on, it's some combination of these 4 dimensions. We need to become more efficient. That's a really simple given, but it's not as easy as it says. We need to internalize what are currently externalities. We need to learn much better how to collaborate and coordinate, and often with people that we're not used to working with in the past. And we really need to learn how to design new solutions at the level of the system rather than the level of the unit, which is where we tend to be at the moment. I thought, I've got 4 minutes, so I'm going to offer some hope. It's like, oh yeah, progress report, that's what you'd expect. We're bound to massage the figures to make us look good. If you're clever, you'll ask the question, what's the one piece of information you're hiding, Steve? Right? I don't know what it is, because there's so many of them. I do believe, I honestly believe this, that one day soon we will learn why some factories are 300% better than other factories using the same machines to make the same product. And when we know that, we will know what efficiency really means and how far we can push that. I believe that we will learn how to see the waste of materials, water and energy that is so prolific today. Some people call that the value of waste. I call it, the metaphor I use is putting on the glasses. When I was first trained as a production engineer and working in factories, we were told to have as much inventory as possible next to the most expensive machine, because the one thing that would get you to lose your job is that machine running out of work. We now know just how stupid that is. But boy, did it take a long time. And we put on those glasses, and now we see factories differently in terms of inventory. I believe in the next decade, it will become normal for people to put on the sorts of glasses that the people in this room have, and just naturally improve their factories because they can see things that they previously didn't see. I think that we're going to begin to learn what value really means. This isn't about the value of waste, this is about the waste of value. I like that. Ian gave me that one this morning. So if it's horrible, you can blame Ian. We are throwing away value. We are destroying the value that's offered to us, often by nature, because it's somewhere else. And a better and broader understanding of value is one way to unlock a logic and a way of improving. I also believe we're going to learn how to research and deliver together the solutions. I don't believe it's easy to do it on your own. The sorts of problems and solutions that require collaboration. So, a couple of last slides. I've been working on a number of projects that are about the future of manufacturing. And the UK government report is published on October the 28th. So there are lots of things I can't say which are going to be interesting and will be in that report. But there are a few bits that I can say, mainly on behalf of Mike Tennant. Where are you, Mike? I saw you. Mike did the research for the foresight about what is going, how sustainability might impact manufacturing out to 2050. And I thought there was something incredibly insightful in one of the conclusions. And I've boiled it down to one slide. It says that for the time being, most organizations are going to be operating in a business as usual mode, focusing on efficiency and hopefully growing their market. And there are a number of ways in which they're going to do that. But then it says, you know what? Things are going to start to happen, and people want to be prepared for those things that are going to start to happen. So there are going to be concerns. People are going to be deciding where to place their factory, not on the basis of energy prices, but on the basis of absolutely assured energy supply. Because if you want to be unprofitable, just don't have the factory working, right? Because there's no energy or water coming in. And these are affecting decisions today. So we see disruptive events happening over somewhere between 2020 and 2035 with increasing frequency. And we see a period of experimentation occurring, and the clever ones will experiment before the events, and the not so clever ones will wait. It's simple, isn't it? But that period of experimenting is going to be a great time to be involved in manufacturing for those people who are entering this career. Even after that period of experimentation settles down, we believe we're going to see some rather different configurations. Manufacturing is going to look very different. And I'll just paint a picture for you as my last comments. Many of us understand lean manufacturing, and lean manufacturing is very good at driving down cost and removing waste in order to drive down cost. I would refer to that as lean and mean. We're seeing companies who are very good at lean slightly altering their view of what waste means, which is a central concept to lean manufacturing, and turning it into something that many of them are calling lean and clean. I would suggest that's just an efficiency agenda, but it's a bloody good one. And when you keep squeezing the system, it's surprising how much you might get. There'll be a presentation tomorrow morning from Steve Hope of Toyota. The factory that he started practicing these techniques in, which is about 100 kilometers from here, they reduced the energy to make one car by 77%. They didn't buy any machines. They just squeezed the system. Same machines, 4 cars instead of 1 car for the same energy. I believe we're never going to say goodbye to our products. Having invested so much money creating value in that chemistry, in that integration, in the information, why are we sending it out into the world to be lost? We understand the value in that molecule. We understand the value in that information, and it will just, by 2050, anybody who sends their product out to be lost will be seen as stark raving mad. You've just made it. Why are you giving it away? We're going to be making things everywhere because the logic of production, the technologies that are coming through at the moment will change the logic of the scale of production. It will be much easier and profitable to make things in small factories than it is today. Now that does not automatically mean small factories are going to happen, but there are other logics and pressures which will encourage that, and we're going to see factories much more local, working in combination with product architectures and process architectures with larger factories that might be sited elsewhere. We're going to permanently keep in touch with our customers. This is already permanently providing information about me to people that I just press buttons and give them permission. Wow. Well, imagine that your suit is going to have information about your state of physical well-being and will be telling the suit maker, and they will do what with the information? I don't know, but it'll be valuable. So we're going to be keeping in touch with our customers to make sure that we provide them good products. We never want to say goodbye to that stuff. Kissing frogs, you know this one? I love this one. You know the story about you have to kiss a lot of frogs to find a prince. What I'm alluding to here is that in the future, we're going to be collaborating with organizations we would not traditionally see as being in our supply chain or even in our sector. And one of the greatest challenges is, how do you find the right collaborator when they're not in your address book? So one of the things we're going to have to be good at is kissing frogs efficiently. We want to kiss 10 frogs to find a prince rather than 1,000. And I think the technology changes that are coming about in manufacturing, I'm suggesting, are going to change us into a slow and grow making world for at least half of the materials in our products. So green chemistry, biochemistry, additive manufacturing are all versions of technologies which allow us to grow materials, just ignoring the simple biology of the planet, which offers so much. So more and more in 2050, we will be growing stuff. That's going to be interesting for scheduling. At the moment, we tend to rush around factories and everything has to be done quickly. Well, as long as the throughput is the same, we might allow ourselves to be slow. You can still make 1 million of them a day if you wish. You just have to have quite a lot more inventory if they're made slowly. So, what does that imply? I'm going to give you a final message. It implies that by 2050, the lovely street that I've just walked down at the side of this nice building will learn that there's a factory that's going to go up near Cambridge. And they're going to put in a petition to say, please put your factory at the end of our street, because the air coming out is cleaner, the water coming out is cleaner, it provides jobs and lots of other value besides. It's not something to ignore, it's something to embrace. Thank you very much.